Okay, well, hello
Fuck it.
everyone.
Everybody knows you.
My name is Brian, and I am uh, April's wingman on Ask A Bitchface, admin of On the One, a funk space on Quora, and also the admin of CF Tranquility, which is the world music space that I have on Quora as well.
Indie hippie space.
If that's how you choose to look at it, then
That's
that's
what
fine.
it is. It's the indie hippie space. Yeah, over there smoking reefer and shit. I know what you're doing. I know you indie hippie bitches.
Let's see
Okay.
what else. I don't know what else do I need to know.
What do you do for a living, brah?
So I have been in the utility forestry industry for 11 years. Started out on a tree crew. Now I am doing crew, or I'm in charge of the group that does crew safety audits. So I got about eight or nine people under me, and travel almost every week, just about. So I'm always on the road somewhere, in some hotel somewhere or another. So.
Let me give the synopsis on that. What he means to say is he's the fucking boss man. Okay. So he goes out there, he runs shit, and then he comes back. So that's it. If you got any questions, it's the boss man. Period. Okay. So
I am the captain. That is true.
all right then. Also Dr. Funk.
Dr. Fun, yes.
Don't forget about that. All right. So, Dr. Funk, let's take some hotline questions. Okay.
Okay.
First one, I'm gonna go ahead because I have to. I can't even go. I can't scroll past this one. Is basically what I'm saying.
Okay.
So we're being asked by Chloe, why did my dead friend's husband hit on me and then disappeared? I'm not quite certain what being ghosted by your deceased homegirl's husband. I, this is so much of a double entendre. I can't even stand it right now. Like everything in me that is literary is just like I feel like Walt Whitman right now. Okay, I'm seriously. I swear to God. Yes, I said it. I am fucking. I'm Longfellow right now. That's what's happening. It's calling to the poet in me, B. I can't even take it. This is like Annabelle fucking Lee just happened. Just take me to the sepulchre. Jesus. All right. You want to feel this?
Why did her dead friend's husband hit on her and then disappear?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I guess I'd be curious as to how long it was between her when her friend died and when
That's a good
her husband hit
question.
on her. So
Yep.
if it was like, immediately or
That's
very
gross.
soon after she died, then
That's gross.
that's very gross. That is
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah. And he needs to be looked at by the CSI team because clearly they missed a murderer.
And honestly, even if it was like
It's
a
still
longer
yucky.
duration of time,
It's gross.
there's still a boundary there that
It's
should not
disgusting.
be
Yep.
crossed.
Nope. And if she crosses it, which obviously she was considering, because she's not saying, why did he hit on me? She's saying, why did he hit on me in the gut?
True. No, that's true. That's true.
Concern it, you know what I mean? Listen, what I'm picking up is she's upset because he did it and then left. Okay. Now, you know what that says to me? You nasty. Yeah, nasty bitch. Because what are you doing? What I don't give a damn. Listen, okay? Check this out. Like, let's say Lisa is married to a dude, okay? And God forbid something happened to Lisa. This motherfucker better never look at me out this day. He better not cut his eye in my direction, okay? My responsibility to him at this point is to comfort him as a grieving husband to my friend, all right? That's the only responsibility that we have toward one another. I'm supposed to send a fucking casserole, all right? I'm supposed to send a damn card at Christmas, Other than that, don't cut your eye toward me because you're nasty if you do. All right. There's no excuse for this shit that is passing for loyalty these days. No excuse.
And how long before this hypothetical death
were you looking at him?
Looking at, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Because clearly you think it's okay now.
Yeah,
you dirty heifer.
He already thought he had it lined up already.
Yeah, you a nasty bitch. Yeah, you a nasty bitch. You know, my question would be, what was your friend terminal? How long you been planning on fucking her old man? You know what I mean? Clearly you a nasty bitch. You're trifling. You can't be my friend. Get the fuck out of here. You ain't welcome on Bitchface. You gotta go. You ain't the type of woman we need. You know? And
the fact that she's asking this question in the first place, as you already said, there was something there.
Yeah. Yeah. Her concern is not as a friend. Her concern is as a trifling homewrecker. That's exactly what it is. You know. So Chloe, that's to answer your question. Okay. Whatever kinds of answers that women like you are looking for, you won't find them from me. So we're a whole different breed of women. Thank you for your question, though. Okay. So next question, Brian. Okay. So we're going to go to one of the ones from a respectable woman. We'll go with Lisa. Okay. So, all right. So Lisa asks, when so many healthy dogs and cats are euthanized every day, how can some people refuse to spay and neuter on their own? That's a damn good question, Lisa. That's a very good question. Okay.
I don't know if there's a good answer for that.
Well, there's a good answer for it, but I'm not going to give it. I'm going to go on a fucking tangent. So, you know.
Well, as far as why people don't do it, I don't think that there's a good reason for them not to do it.
Because there isn't one, because they're obviously irresponsible douchebags. That's why, So
I think there's a combination of being irresponsible, being ignorant,
lazy.
Mm-hmm. There was one answer I read about a cat, I believe, that the owner, for some stupid reason, didn't want to get spayed and was surprised that, wouldn't you know it, he has a bunch more cats now. Doesn't know what to do with them.
Nice.
Nice. And doesn't understand the correlation between the two things.
That's responsible pet ownership right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, I put the word out on Bitchface many, many moons ago. If there's something going on with your animal and you can't get them help, you let me know. I will find you help. And do you know that people have used that option? Several people have. Allie found her a low-cost vet clinic, to take care of her cat. Had a lady a couple weeks ago that had a pit that needed some veterinary work. Got her some help. It's what I do. A network for animals because I love them. This shit here, unacceptable. Unfucking acceptable. Because what you're doing is you are creating a problem for me down the road. You're being an irresponsible douche and you are creating a problem for somebody who's going to have to come along in a year or 5 years and fix this problem. Fuck you. You don't deserve an animal. Your dog deserves so much better. Your cat deserves so much better because clearly you just don't give a fuck. You don't care what they're out here getting into. You don't care about their health. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Like, if you had kids, would it be okay if your 14-year-old daughter was out here having, kid after kid? That's essentially what you're doing. You're responsible for this animal, dude. You're doing nothing. You're not living up to your fucking responsibility. You're a piece of shit.
Actually, I wanted to bring something up on that front about being a responsible pet owner. Now, in my line of work, I've been in, countless backyards, alleys, fields, and all kinds of neighborhoods. And I've seen a pretty wide spectrum of how people take care of their animals, especially when it comes to dogs. There are so many people that just put their dogs on a chain in the backyard and just do nothing with them, just have them just run
Oh,
around
you mean
untrained, you know.
the people that need their asses kicked? Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah.
Let's see. I've been bitten 3 times by a dog. One of my coworkers back in, I think, 2011, 2012, got attacked by a dog who had dug under chain link fence. Owner knew that was happening, didn't do anything about it for months and months.
Yeah.
And he was in the other backyard, the adjacent backyard, and the dog had dug enough of a hole under to get under and attack him in his thigh, back of his thigh. That dog was taken away and had to be put down.
Right. Because of its own.
Because of the owner. Yeah. And the owner was, I saw him go out there protesting that, you know, you have the right to take my dog away and my dog doesn't do any harm and so on and so on and so on. But this guy just literally chained his dog up and just left him
And
in the
did
backyard.
nothing.
That's
it. Threw some food at it every couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Lisa has a neighbor. All right. And the neighbor has a dog named Lucy. Okay. Lucy is a prisoner. She's not a pet. She's a prisoner. All right. Lisa goes out and tries to console Lucy every now and then. All right. Lucy's out there, rain, shine, cold, hot. I've already said I'll go out there and kidnap her in a heartbeat. You know, it breaks my fucking heart. When I lived a couple towns over, in the hood, of course, because, you know, that's where I stay. So these people had fighting pits. Okay. And I don't know if you know much about when people dog fight, but they keep them in these cages that are like 2x2, stacked on top of one another, chained inside that cage. So the dog basically can't even sit down. Okay. Yeah. You have an animal who has to stand constantly in a cage in the heat, in the fucking rain. That's a prisoner. That's not a pet. You don't love that animal if you put that animal in a miserable situation and expect it to take care of you. Why would it? I'd be trying to get away from you. And I would certainly hope that if they were ever given the opportunity that they would. As a matter of fact, if somebody attacked you, I would hope the dog fucking jumped in. You're a bad, bad person if that's how you treat an animal. There's no excuse for that. We're not living in the days of the Bible where it was you have a water hose. Wash the fucking dog and take it in the house. You know, there's no excuse for the way these animals. There's really not. Can't say enough that if you don't want the responsibility of loving an animal and treating it like a member of your family, then don't fucking get one. Don't do it. There are enough people who love animals who we'll handle that. You leave it to us. Stop doing this shit to these dogs. Stop it. These cats that are out here, you know, howling outside my window every night, you know, fighting with one another because you don't take your fucking cat in the house. You know, what is wrong with these people? Why are you doing this?
Some people, they just view, especially when it comes to dogs, you know, pit bulls, Rottweilers, German Shepherds.
Guard dog. Guard dog.
View them as guard dogs, untrained guard dogs that they
They're savages.
just
Savage
yeah,
beasts.
just keep in the
Yeah.
yard and just attack anything that comes in. You know, they don't view them as creatures, as you know, as creatures
They
that
don't think they have souls.
soul. Yeah, exactly. That can be loved and taken care of. They're just tools. They're tools. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They're just tools to be used.
That bothers me a lot, Brian, because you know that people that view animals that way, like we all know that people that kill animals, children that kill animals, that's part of the trifecta of the serial killer. You know,
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Okay. But what they don't think about is you've got these people that are as adults out here antifreezing cats, shooting dogs, whatever, however they're harming them, and we're not looking at these people as though they're still on the spectrum of the trifecta, and they are. They most certainly fucking are. If you're antifreezing a cat, you're doing the same shit that these little assholes that turn into serial killers were doing. It's just that you're not cutting them into pieces and, putting them in a pentagram or whatever the fuck it is,
Mm-hmm.
You're still the same piece of shit. You're still out here taking something with a soul and you're hurting it, you're maiming it, you're killing it. You do the same thing to a human. You got no compassion. You don't have good in you if that's how you treat something that can feel and experience emotions. And we all know that animals can, I mean, even birds and they're goddamn dinosaurs, even birds care for their owners, recognize their owners. It's to be able to hurt something that has feelings. You're a fucking monster. You're a monster. You're not a good person. And I don't affiliate with people like that. Let me find out who it is that's got this cat that keeps crying out here all night because somebody won't fucking take it in. I bet you I give them the nastiest fucking stank face every time I see them, because they deserve it. I hope it ruins your fucking day, you bitch. I hope every time you see me in the driveway, it ruins your day because you deserve it. You ruin that cat's day, leaving it outside, having to fucking fend for itself every damn night, fighting with these tomcats and shit around the neighborhood. That's what you got that cat for? That's supposed to be your pet. Fuck out of here.
These are the same types of people who will harm children. And
in a heartbeat.
And the correlation between this is you have a young, defenseless, small creature
right.
that is dependent upon you
yep.
for love, for shelter, food, the whole 9 yards.
So you get your power kicks, your power trip off of abusing something that can't fucking defend itself.
Exactly. And we're talking about, ultimately, we come back to the same thing, is power, having power over something or someone.
I just want to do my job, Mr. Penis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same group. It's the same. You can tell me that they're not sociopaths. I'm going to tell you that they are. Okay? If they don't have a problem forcing their will upon everything around them, that's a fucking sociopath. Okay? That's going to be your Bernie Madoff. I bet you he don't have no dogs to the house. I bet you. Want to know why? He doesn't have a need for one. He's got security. Now, if he was Bernie Madoff when he was still living in the HOA, I bet you he had a couple dogs that were chained inside the fence that got tossed some food once or twice a week, and expected to be guard dogs, because that's the only use that people like this have for anything that they cannot completely and totally either ruin, abuse, take full advantage of. It's you'll see the pattern in their lives. They destroy everything they're near. People like that shouldn't have pets. They shouldn't.
I agree.
I wouldn't want to be some sociopath's dog. Just imagine how. I'll tell you this. I read a very interesting story once. Daughter of a serial killer. One don't have something telling them not to posture, and I honestly believe that they think that they'll be called out. That's why people that don't like dogs, they're always like, oh, I can't stand. They're always trying to jump at that. You want to know what it is? They know you're a terrible person, and you know that they're going to call you out for being a terrible person. Like I trust my dogs implicitly. You know what I mean? Why are they going to lie to me? Why are they going to tell me you're a bad person if you ain't a bad person? Like, if you have snacks in your fucking pocket, if and they still said you're a bad person, you definitely a bad person. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
can't
I
even
mean,
snap like
they
me,
don't, you know, have the kind of duplicity that that humans have. You know, just very, they're about as honest as you can have. You know.
that's right. That's right. They don't have that filter that tells them, you know, oh man, I probably shouldn't posture today. You know, this is Susan from payroll. She doesn't like that. Like they don't have to do that, you know. And so if they tell me that you are a piece of shit, I believe them, you know. And that's what really gets me about these people that say, "Oh well, I just don't like dogs." Bitch, how can you just not like dogs? Like dogs are amazing. You know what? They're the most amazing fucking thing on the face of the planet. They just want to love you. Like you don't like something that just wants to love you. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like I don't understand. I don't get it. You know.
I don't trust anyone who
I
doesn't
really
like
don't either,
dogs.
bro.
You know.
I don't either. If you don't like a dog, there's something fundamentally wrong with you. It what's about it? Because the type of people that don't like dogs are the type of people that you gotta watch them. You gotta watch them around your kids. You know what I mean? Like, that's Uncle Steve over there. You don't leave the babies outside with him. You know what I mean? You better fucking make sure there's an adult around. You know, and that's a real live deal. If I wouldn't trust you to watch my dog, you're not the type of person I even want in my house. You're really not. So that's what I think about that. And I feel like these assholes that keep them on chains in these little tiny cages, and you're the type of person that I'm talking about when I say this. You're disgusting. You make me sick. You make me feel sick. There's no reason for it. If you have access to shampoo and water, there's no reason why your animal should not be in your house. None whatsoever. None. You gotta fuck with her. You up the damn, take them to the groomer. What's wrong with these people? They got every excuse in the book. None of them are good.
Kind of went out for a minute there.
You get you back.
Okay, there we go.
All right, so you want to take the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Next caller. All righty. So our next caller is going to be Jean. Uh-huh. Miss Jean Ann Nelson. What do you know about doggy anxiety? Mine has meltdowns so bad, she's pooing. Okay. I feel like I'm not giving her the right signals. She lives to be with me, and I feel like I let her down. Okay. All right, Jean. So, okay. I understand your fears of not being a good pet owner. All right. There are some times where I feel so bad because I yelled at my dog that, like, I will catch myself. I'm about to cry. You know what I mean? Because I yelled at my baby, even though fully they deserved it. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
because I did it, I feel terrible about myself. I feel like I'm a horrible fucking person because I know that in that moment I just broke their heart, you know, because I I'm their person. They live for me, you know, and I'm yelling at them. What is wrong with me? You know what I mean? But guess what? We're not perfect, okay? If you were perfect, you would be a dog. That's all there is to it.
Mhm.
You would be one of my dogs because that's the closest step to heaven. Like that's your last step in reincarnation. You get to be one of my dogs and you go on to heaven, you know? Like you can't get a better life. Listen, you're not failing your dog. Okay? If you're loving your dog, if your dog is in the house with you, if your dog is well fed, or even if you can't feed them well and you're looking for help, you're doing right by your dog. So stop thinking you're failing. All right. You're better than 80% of the dog owners already if you got it in the house and you got it fed. So as far as anxiety, I know that it's a real live situation. And with dogs, it's just as bad as it is with people. I know some dogs that are on doggy Xanax, and it's the same Xanax that they give people. So they're suffering with it, but it, I know you personally, and I know that you've got some turmoil in your life and in your house, and they pick up on that. They pick up on a lot more than you think. So, yes, turmoil in your house will give your dog anxiety. Yes, it will. In a heartbeat, it'll do the same thing to your, it does the same thing to your kids. It does the same thing to you. You got to get the turmoil out of your life. You got to. It's not everybody's going to have a good day every day, but you got to have a good day most days. And I know that you've got some situations where that's not happening. And I hope for your sake and for your dog's sake that you can alleviate some of those situations soon, because it's not good for either one of y'all's health. So I hope you work on that. Brian, what are your thoughts on it?
Actually, you said two of the things that I was going to bring up. First being that the fact that she is writing in and obviously, loves her dog, cares about her,
Absolutely.
is obviously a great step. Just full stop. But yes, if there is a lot of conflict, turmoil in the house, just like with children, as you said, they're going to absorb that because obviously they have feelings. They can feel and sense what's going on in the house.
That's right.
So that needs to be addressed first um, before any further care can happen. Because if you're not happy and the situation, whatever the situation is not happy, it's tense, it's fraught, then you're not going to be happy, and neither are your dogs. So
nope. Yep, your animal's going to pick up on your unhappiness quickly, and whatever it is that you are trying uh, to let other people believe, that's cool. Play that shit at the office or whatever, homeboy. But your animals are going to know. They know everything. They just they sense it. They know, and an unhappy household, it's shit for everybody there, not just for you and your old man, or you and your kid that are fighting, or whatever the case may be. If you got turmoil in your house, everybody is upset. Every living being, and that includes your animals. So
as much as you try to,
yep.
hide it, at some point you're going to take it out on them.
Oh yeah. You yell at your cat for being on the counter when really you want to yell at your husband because he cheated on last month with Martha down at the fucking bowling alley. You know what I mean? It's not your cat's fault. Don't yell at your cat. It's not your cat. It's your fucking husband. You got to get rid of him. And Martha needs her ass kicked. You know what I mean? But again, you are the only one that can clean up your house. My Swiffer is cool for my house, but I ain't finna come over and run it at your house. You got to know how to do those things on your own. Take the trash out, boo-boo. Take the fucking trash out. And straighten your home. Get your affairs in order. I guarantee you to straighten that dog's anxiety out. Huh?
Got it.
Next.
Your signal is low again. Your bandwidth is low again.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Oh, wait. Yeah, it's just.
I can't master the fucking bandwidth, okay? It's tripping about jumping on taking questions. So, okay.
Okay,
Lisa wants to know, cutting out or am I on?
I was gonna say, yeah, you're
on.
You're still cutting in and out.
Is it saying I'm low?
Yep, sure is.
Son of a bitch. I don't know what the fucking deal is, because I got the thing off now. Listen, if I ever got some strong Wi-Fi, I'd be a force to fucking be reckoned with. I really would. Like, I would world if I had some Wi-Fi that could keep up with me. so, so Lisa wants to know why so many cat owners refuse to accept the truth about, Lisa's stance on declawing. Okay, you leave them defenseless.
Okay.
You're leaving your cat out there unable to do shit for itself. All right. Okay. So that's also homegirl's stance on it too. And Lord, Rachel, man, she'll lose her mind on it. Rachel, we love you. So
I do not want to be on the other side of the courtroom from her. I'll tell you that.
Hell no, I ain't trying to dial 1-800 lawyer bitch today. That's the bitch, please. So Rachel, we got you, boo. We got you. So okay. It's the same as with dogs left outside in the weather. You're taking an animal and you are claiming that you love it and you care for it and whatever, but it's more important to you that your couch arms and your cat able to defend itself against something if, God forbid, it should be out. You're basically saying that what happens to your animal doesn't matter.
Yeah, your own personal comfort is more important than the comfort of the animal that you have chosen to take care of. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry with this. It's inhumane.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine cutting off, your fingers, your toes. I honestly do not understand why people think that it's okay to do that. I have no idea what goes through their minds, but no, it's pretty cut and dry. It is something that should be outlawed.
I agree. I'm sorry, June, that your chair is so fucking precious, but it's not going to really hurt you if your chair arm gets some scratches in it, but it could really fuck that cat up, being out there unable to take care of itself. And clearly you ain't gonna do it, since you're out here trying to rip its fucking toenails out, you asshole. So I'm glad Rachel goes on those tangents, because somebody needs to. Somebody really needs to. And these vets that are still doing it, you're dicks. So thank you for putting profits above, animals' health and safety. You fucking assholes. So now I did tell Rebecca last night that one of the things that I hope to happen with this, okay, Rachel is indisposed right now, but I had brought up the fact a while ago that these douchebag pit bull owners that keep getting dogs and not training them, not taking care of them, chaining them in a yard, and then something happens and the dogs are put down, they're allowed to go on and get another dog. And they do. Yeah. Many times. More dogs. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about this dog that was just put down. I think that we need to have a registry for these assholes where once they do something like that and a dog is taken from them and euthanized, they're not ever allowed to own another dog. They need to never be able to license another dog. Never. Never. You need to lose your ability because you're obviously a piece of shit. So, something has to be done. Something's got to be done about these people. And until responsible pet owners and pet lovers, stand up for these other animals that, God forbid, wind up with these shit people, uh, it's a repetitive cycle. These guys that have these junkyard dogs, that they throw them a bag of food out there once a week on payday after they've had a case of Bush in the fucking yard. you know they're never going to care about these animals. They don't give a shit, you know, but I do care, and I know there are lots of other people that do too. Somebody's got to stand up for these dogs and these cats. Like, so I want to see, maybe what Rachel thinks about, um, is there some way that we can, I don't know, start a petition, start a fucking something local, to, I don't know shit about the law because I try to avoid it with everything in me, but I,
Me too.
I,
But
I, I know pumpkin, but you know what I mean?
mhm.
It's some, we got one among us that can talk to him. You know what I mean? So she's the spokes bitch for it. Like, Rachel, we need you to talk to the legal professionals, please. Like, the rest of us are scared to deal with the police, but we need you to go on and be the spokes bitch. So, it's something's got to be done. And I mean, as far as I can see, the only thing that we can do at this point is take away the ability to hurt any more of them. You know, you got to put a buffer there. And I can't go and be in everybody's fucking front yard. I can't show up at everybody's fucking house and show my ass. I mean, I can, but it's going to take me a while. So, like, if you want to see me Bo Duke it across the hood of my fucking car, then that's cool. I'll be in your neighborhood, I don't know, 8 weeks from now. So keep on fucking up and I'll show up, but really there's got to be something that we can do. Like, this is unacceptable, and it has reached. There was a couple of weeks ago here in Manatee, which is a couple counties over, 4 pits, um, that were all being raised in one house by 3 different shit owners who, uh, basically just let them run amok, and run around outside with no supervision, no training, no nothing. They went to attack a dog that was being walked, by its owner, a woman. And then the woman, of course, being a pet mom, tries to save her dog and was seriously injured. And all 4 dogs were taken for euthanization. That is not the fault of those dogs. That is the fault of those fucking assholes that own those dogs. Never should you have untrained dogs that you allow outside to pack up, first of all, because once you give the dogs the ability to form a pack, you're done. You know what I mean? You've lost all control. You should have done something long before this ever happened. So now you've got dogs out here roaming like a wild pack of dogs. Okay, they're going to do what a wild pack of dogs does. That's not their fault. These owners are fucking assholes. They should never have dogs again. Never. They caused a dog to be seriously injured and a woman to be seriously injured. And that is not those dogs' fault. That's those owners' fault. So, you know what? They got a ticket, a fucking ticket.
Fine, a couple hundred or something like that.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
$100. And then they can go right on down and get them another dog. Get them another pit. Because apparently they're disposable dogs, with no soul, who can't feel anything. And they're just good for, eating people. So,
That is another point there is how, I mean, obviously the perception of pit bulls is what it is because of people like this.
Sure. Yeah.
You know,
They're vicious killers. They murder small children in crosswalks every fucking morning. You didn't know.
so what I wonder is, it depends on the area, but I think we should also raise the standard of the initial adoption as well.
I think so
Depending
too.
on, obviously it goes depending on whatever shelter you're going to.
Uh-huh.
But I think that there should be a higher standard, higher set of qualifications, I should say, before
Yeah.
you're able to adopt a dog in the first place, before you even get to the second one or the third one or what have you.
Sure. Well, right now the standard is you have to have $50 in a fucking pulse. Okay. Um, yeah, which is basically also the standard for dating. So, you can get a pit bull and a girlfriend if you have $50 in a pulse. Um, it's
Hell of a night.
listen, ain't it though? Ain't it though? Shit, I'll take the pit bull. You can keep the rest. Check this out though. Wow, it really is. But now, you want to know who has some fucking standards? Fucking rescues. You can't get a rescue fucking dog to save your life, baby. You can't even foster for these sons of bitches. Like, they look at everybody like they are. Listen, I walk in these bitches, they're like, like, give me the stank. Bitch, do you know who I am? Like, the fuck out of here. You don't look at me like that. What is wrong with you? But they have to be. These dogs have already been so fucked up by people, you know? If these shelters had some bitch on their team that looked at bitches funny when they walked through the door, maybe there'd be less of them ending up in the rescues, you know? So you gotta fucking come up with the front line, man. You gotta come up with the front line. And right now we don't have a very good one at all.
Before I moved from Houston, I was actually looking into adopting a dog. So I went to, I think, about maybe 4 or 5 different shelters over there.
Uh-huh.
And like you just said, the qualifications, yeah, do you have? I think it was for one, it was like $75
Uh, and a pulse.
and a
Don't
pulse
forget the pulse.
and a
Yep.
pulse, and that was it. And I was pretty shocked at that's all you needed. I mean, anybody with a little bit of
Right.
money can go in and
I, I've seen these. I've seen these. Listen to this. I saw somebody go to the fucking shelter and get a dog. They didn't even have a damn leash to take the dog out on. And the shelter gave him what? You see the quality of care that's about to happen, and you let them. Are you fucking for real? Like immediately the dog's in danger, and y'all don't care. Y'all for real? This is y'all the front lines. Y'all the fucking front lines because y'all failing. Like if y'all was the front lines in any other area, bitch. Oh my God! If you were the front line in the zombie apocalypse, my brain would not be safe. If you were the front line in fucking traffic patrol, like somebody better get a meter maid. Like you bitches fail. You fail completely. You suck. You're terrible.
no, you're right, and it was and still is unbelievable, but that's the reality we're facing.
Yeah.
So that standard should, and that will have a trickle down effect, as you said, on the amount of
Absolutely.
rescues that are available. So it all, it's
Absolutely.
all symbiotic. It's all part of the
Yeah.
same system.
And I'll tell you this, it's if you get rid of the responsible or the irresponsible pet ownership element, not only have you now reduced the number of rescues because of these douchebags owning them, but also because you don't have these assholes out here that aren't getting them spayed, that are letting them have 9, 10 litters, you know what I mean? And giving them to, Joe Bob down the street and, you know, Kathy, who's been divorced 5 times, and every time she gets divorced, she moves apartments and can't take the dog with her, So you're getting rid of these repetitive uh, situations with litters that are not getting spayed and neutered, and you're getting rid of these revolving door pet owners. You got to have you got it's got to be. I mean, there's got to be something we can do. There's got to be because I mean, I could get into Bubble Capri right now and be down the road in Juanita, kicking in doors and taking dogs, but I mean, I'm gonna be there a while. It's gonna be a little bit before I get out to y'all's neck of the woods. I can't save everybody, you know. Somebody else got to do something. So, I mean, Bubble Capri's only got so many miles on the tires, bitches. Somebody else gonna have to jump up and do this, son.
And
So,
only so much room inside.
I mean, I load that bitch up though till it's filled to the brim. You heard me? I stack them on stacks, but we gotta come up with another plan. So
Well, something,
so
yeah,
I'm
something we can
hoping
talk
maybe
to Rachel about at a later point when she's more available.
yeah, let's do that. In a because I'm not in that bucket either. So
Yeah, I'm well out of my depth with that.
I figured, yeah. Well, you know,
leadership.
you black, Brian, so you can't do that. It's
I could try.
you just
I ain't
avoid it.
right
All right, I'll stand in front of you. I got this.
there.
It's, yeah, yeah. We can joke about it today, but and hopefully we always can, you know, because God forbid a day when we have to actually take that shit seriously. Um, so we definitely need Rachel though, because I want to know. Basically, I mean, is there some sort of put already in place that, you know, says, hey, you fuck faces that have had 6 dogs euthanized, y'all can't own no more. If so, why isn't it being enforced? And if it's not there, why isn't it? You know, I want to know who's not asking these fucking questions, because it should have already been asked and answered. So I can't be the fucking smartest woman in the room all the time. So
But most of the
just
time.
99% of the time. But,
Right,
you know, I got to climb into the cryogenic chamber every now and then and take a fucking nap. So somebody's going to have to step up and do a little something while I do that.
hey, there you go.
So, you know, but yeah, let's let's put that on the revisit list for when Rachel can be with us. I want to get that asked and answered, and definitely, you know, even if we can't buy boats that have boats, maybe we can save a couple dogs, because that would